All right. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us this morning. My name is Jasmine, and I am the Y.E.S coordinator here at the North Suburban YMCA. It is my pleasure to welcome you to Respite Options for Those with Memory Loss by Marina Frugoli, Community Outreach and Marketing Manager for Home Watch Caregivers. Today, she'll be speaking about respite care options and how to support caregivers so that they can continue giving the best possible care to their loved ones. We will be recording today's session to make it available as a podcast on our WISE website, so if you're a Y member, you'll be able to reference it down the road as well. The YMCA Education Series program typically lasts an hour. Marina will take questions both during and at the end of her presentation. If everyone could mute themselves during the presentation so that background noise doesn't interfere with the presentation, you can then unmute yourself when she opens the forum for questions. The YMCA Education Series is free and open to the public, but as a nonprofit organization, we are always happy to receive donations from you. If you enjoyed today's program and would like to support adult programming at the North Suburban YMCA, please feel free to make a donation to our Y by going to our website. Again, thank you for joining us today, and a special thank you to Marina. Now, I will let Marina talk to you about respite services, tools, and resources. Please welcome Marina.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you, Jasmine, and thank you, the Y, for doing this. I'm going to share my screen to get our presentation started. All right. Okay, I think everyone can see it. I hope so. So, respite options for those caring for a loved one with memory loss. So, I want to start today with a story. I met a woman a few months ago, and she had been caring for her husband who had early to mid stage Alzheimer's. It was late at night. She's sitting in the kitchen, and she realized that she couldn't remember the last time she had had a full night's rest. She honestly couldn't even remember the last time she had gone to the grocery store or had a cup of coffee without feeling incredibly guilty about the time she was wasting. What finally made the difference for her, though, and was able to give her back some semblance of a life and sleep, was a friend encouraged her to seek respite care. And when she finally found help for just a few hours a week, it really made a huge difference, and she felt like she could breathe again. I'm sure that resonates with a few of you. So that's really why we're here today, because no one can or should have to do this journey alone. So today we'll cover the impact of caregiving on your health, what is respite care and why it matters, the different types, how to recognize when you need help, and how to start that conversation with the loved one that you're caregiving for. Now, according to the Alzheimer's Association, more than 11 million Americans provide unpaid care for someone with some form of dementia. These family caregivers spend over 20 hours a week caring for a loved one. And now those family caregivers with full-time employment, they miss an average of over 3 workdays a month. That's adds up a lot. And when you only have 2 weeks of time off a year, that adds up very, very quickly. And nearly a third of those caregivers with jobs quit due to their caregiving responsibilities. That's really tough. We'll talk more about burnout later, but some signs of burnout include constant fatigue, frequent irritability, withdrawing, headaches, and trouble falling and or staying asleep. As they say, you can't pour from an empty cup. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's truly essential. So, what is respite care? That's why we're here today. Now, respite care is temporary relief for the primary caregiver. It's typically short term support so that you can care for yourself, like running errands, going to the grocery store, or just taking some time to care for only you. Some of the most common types of respite care are informal respite. This is when you have a neighbor, a friend, a trusted relative, someone who can come in and step in while you step out. So this could be a sister who comes over while, you go out for a Saturday afternoon, or a neighbor who sits with the loved one while you run to a doctor's appointment or the grocery store. Adult day centers, which we'll dive into some local options shortly. These are structured daytime programs, usually at a facility or community, where your loved one can spend the day socializing, participating in activities, and engaging with peers in a safe and supervised environment. It gives them a chance to, be stimulated in a supportive setting and it gives you a predictable window of time to take care of work and appointments. And then last is in-home care. So this is when a professional caregiving agency comes in to take care of your loved ones right in your home. So it may be for just a couple hours of a week or daily or overnight. It's pretty flexible. And we'll dive into some more options soon, but some things they can help with are personal care, companionship, meal prep, or just supervision while you take a break. One of the biggest benefits of in-home care is that it's in-home care. So your loved one's staying in a familiar environment, which can be really comforting, especially for those experiencing memory loss. The key to respite care is flexibility. You don't need to commit to some big long-term plan all at once. Sometimes just 1 hour of respite can start to make that difference. And the goal here is to find a solution or a combination of solutions that fit best for you and for your loved one. Let's talk a little bit more about what adult day centers are. So as I mentioned, this is a safe and simulating environment. It provides social interaction and enrichment activities. Most places will have some physical activities as well as creative activities. They provide meals, medication reminders, and health monitoring. There's typically some sort of nurse or CNA on site. And it's a reliable schedule. It'll always be Monday through Friday from this time to that time. So it gives you a predictable block of time for you to work, rest, or run errands. Some things to look for when you're touring adult day centers or thinking about an adult day center. Make sure, this seems obvious, but make sure the staff is trained in dementia care, right? Have they had it recently? How much do they get? Is there activity variety and structure? A lot of times adult day centers will have their schedules planned out for, 2 weeks in advance or a month in advance. Ask for a copy of that activity so you can see exactly the things that your loved one would be doing every day. You're looking for a clean and welcoming space. That one can seem kind of obvious too, but you want it to have a good feeling and you want to feel safe and comfortable in there if you're leaving your family members. Additionally, transportation services, not all will offer this, but if your loved one being able to be picked up from the home and taken to the center and vice versa is important to you, make sure you're looking for one that has a transportation service included. And then lastly, ask about a trial day or a short visit. Sometimes they'll offer a loved one to come in for just a couple hours just to see how they like it, if it's compatible, and if you would continue to move forward. Let's get into some local options within the community for adult day centers. Now, our first option is located in Park Ridge, and this is attached to the Advocate Lutheran General Hospital. It is off-site though. They're open Monday through Friday, 7 to 5. They specialize in creative arts programs, exercises, and outings, as well as healthcare services and medication administration, as well as therapy sessions. They do provide a hot meal at noon along with morning and afternoon snacks, and they do currently have wheelchair accessible transportation within certain boundaries. I have the contact information below, so please feel free to reach out if you'd like to learn more information from these places directly. So the next option we have is in Evanston, and this is the CJE Senior Life. This is not attached to their community living center, but at a private facility in Evanston. They're open Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 3:30, so a little bit shorter, and they have some of the similar services, but they serve kosher meals and snacks, all approved by a dietitian. And again, there is round trip transportation, but within a specific boundary, and there is an additional fee attached to that. And then our last local option. So this is the House of Welcome, and this is attached to the North Shore Senior Center in Northfield. It's right across the parking lot. And this is a Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. This one's a little bit different because it's smaller groups and their activities are all designed to promote engagement, independence, and friendship. They also feature specialized creative art therapies. They do also provide lunch and snacks, but they do not provide any transportation. So again, if that's something that you're specifically looking for, make sure you're looking for a day center that has that included in it. Now let's go over in-home caregiving. So as I mentioned, in-home caregiving is when a professional caregiving agency will come to your home. Um, some benefits are that the loved one stays in your home. So it's reducing anxiety or confusion from having to transition from place to place. The care is customized and one on one, whereas with an adult day center, there are X amount of employees for every amount of clients and patients. But with caregiving, it's a one on one. Those care is also flexible to your schedule and loved one's needs. With a day center, that's a predictable block of time, which can be very beneficial. But if you have, a not quite a steady schedule or you need care randomly, home care may be best because that's a flexible schedule. Some things they help with are companionship and emotional support. Having someone to talk to and engage with, that socialization piece is so important, especially as we get older. Additionally, they help with personal care. So things like toileting, bathing, getting dressed, overall hygiene, brushing teeth, hair, etc. Supervision to ensure safety and prevent wanderings or falls. Having someone in the home, making sure that they're being safe when they're getting up to use the bathroom or to get food, that's really crucial. And then they also provide engagement through memory support activities. So they can help doing those tasks that your family member used to love, but has some trouble doing it on their own now. And then to help you, they also do daily chores like housekeeping, cooking, laundry, and they can run errands. So they can go grocery shopping, medication pickup, and even accompany your loved ones to appointments should they need to. Now, if you're going to hire a caregiving agency, it's incredibly important that you do some research. You don't want to just bring a stranger into your home. You want to make sure that they're qualified. So, some things to look for are they trained through the Illinois Department of Public Health? And are they trained specifically in dementia care? Does the agency do national background checks? And if they're going to be driving your loved one, do they have a valid license and insurance and a DMV check? Are they providing updates to the family, on a daily basis and doing quarterly in-person quality assurance visits? Are the caregivers licensed, bonded, and insured through the agency? If not, you could be liable for any issues or mishaps that happen in the home. Again, like I mentioned, is the agency flexible with their hours? And are they focused on providing the right amount of care, not just the most amount of care? Not everyone needs 24-hour, 7-day-a-week care. Some people just need a few hours a day. So making sure that they're basing the care off of your loved one's needs and their goals for their health, not just off of how many they think that they can get. And then during the initial consultation, the agency should be doing the consultation, one, where the care will be taking place, whether that's in a private home or a senior living community. And two, should be doing a safety evaluation of that home. So the safety evaluation determines if the home is safe for caregiver and client, but they can also make recommendations to make the house more safe for your loved one. Things like adding a grab bar, or my biggest pet peeve, removing area rugs. Those are a mishap waiting to happen. So doing some research and really asking these questions will help you find a caregiving agency that is best for you and your family. There are lots out there, so finding the one that's best for you is important. At Home Watch Caregivers, we know how personal this journey is. So being flexible and tailoring those care plans to each individual is incredibly important. This process is not easy to navigate. So looking for an agency that will help take some of that off your plate is so important. Now, when is it time to seek help? It can feel like you're failing if you feel like you need to ask for help. I know that after doing this with my grandfather, it can be hard to feel like you're not, doing enough, or you should be doing more, all these things. But caregiving is one of the hardest things that anyone can possibly do. You're trying to stay on top of someone else's life and well-being while probably letting yours fall to the wayside. That's what I did with mine, at least. And by doing so, you're really letting your physical and emotional and just complete well-being, have a strain on your body. So As caregiving continues for days and months and sometimes even years, all this stress can lead to burnout. And while burnout can look different in anyone, the Mayo Clinic advises watching for the following signs. So, feeling overwhelmed or constantly worried, feeling tired often, getting either too much sleep or not enough sleep, feeling tired all the time, but when you finally go to rest your head down, your mind will not stop moving at a million miles a minute. Easily gaining or losing weight, becoming easily irritated or angry, losing interest in activities you used to enjoy. You come home, you sit on the couch, and you can't find it in you to do anything you used to really love to do. Having frequent headaches, bodily pain, or other physical problems. Caregiving is not just emotional, it can be incredibly physical too. You're helping someone get dressed in the morning, you're helping them get in and out of bed. So, putting a strain on your body as well. And then lastly, abusing alcohol or drugs, and these are including prescription medications. So if you're already, feeling or experiencing some of these signs, it's time to seek help. By spreading out the burden of care between multiple people, it ensures that no single person is taking on too much. To help assess, the right type of care or respite care for you, start to think about what tasks you need to delegate, right? What tasks can you easily do on your own? And then what tasks are really leaving you feel burned out? By helping delegate those tasks that leave you feeling burned out, you can help identify which respite option would be right for you. And I just want to stress again that asking for help is not a failure or a flaw or evidence that you're doing a bad job. It's brave and it's smart. It truly does take a village. And there are so many options out there that are designed to help you and your loved one live their most fulfilling life. So, how do you start that conversation with your loved one? It can feel hard, especially when your loved one has expressed interest that they're worried about, another option, or they don't really love the idea of respite. So, first, figure out who needs to be a part of this conversation, right? Is it just you that's caring for your loved one? Are there other family caregivers or people that are making decisions? Everyone should be on the same page about wanting to do what's best for the loved one. Start by explaining what respite care is. It can sound scary, especially when there are things we aren't familiar with. So, explain what it is and share the options and benefits of each type. A great sentence to begin is, I've noticed that caregiving takes a lot of my energy and I want to be at my best for you. I found an excellent respite service nearby and I think we should explore it together. Use empathy and I statements. I'm taking us back to elementary school peer mediation, but use those I statements, right? I feel, I think. These conversations can feel really defensive. So actively listen and address any fears or reservations. Reassure them that seeking respite care is a normal part of caregiving. And lastly, remember that this is not this is a conversation, not a lecture, right? So this should be a collaborative decision to help you feel or help them feel in control of their life, right? Seniors are adults and they appreciate having respect and being a part of their journey, not just something on the wayside that things are happening to them. They want to feel like they're actively controlling what's a part of them. Now, as we wrap up today, I want to leave you with a couple of final thoughts. So, respite care is essential, not selfish. As I mentioned, caring for someone is an act of love and is one of the hardest things that a person can do, especially a family caregiver. You have all these emotions tied up into it as well. So, giving yourself a break is not giving up, it's making sure that you can give your best. If anything here resonated to you, I really hope that you can take the first step today, even if that's just a small one, right? Research, an online day center or an adult day center, schedule a consultation with a home care company, even just have that conversation with your loved one about potentially needing respite care. All of these things will help because caring for yourself helps you care better for others. It's not a slogan, okay? It is a truth that will help you through this journey. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Marina, I do have a question. I don't know if you were able to
Yes.
speak to this, but sometimes there are people who are taking care of their parents or anyone else who don't live in the same state. How is that process? I'm assuming when you're going to evaluate your needs as well as going to the actual facilities, it's pretty much the same. But is there anything you should be aware about when you're looking, across state lines or anything like that?
Oh, yeah, great question. So, if you're looking across state lines, I would research that state's Department of Public Health, right? The Illinois, the IDPH, and look up what rules or regulations are required for this specific training. In Illinois, all caregivers and adult day centers need 12 hours of annual training, but that may vary from state to state.
That makes sense.
Oh, sorry, you cut out there at the last part.
Oh, no, I was going to say that makes sense. Awesome. Well, thank you so
Yeah,
much. That was actually very
perfect.
insightful. Yeah, thank you so much for the time. And like we had said on the top, this is going to be recorded, so we will be putting this online and we'll be sharing it to our newsletter recipients as well.
Great. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Bye, Marina. Have a good one. Thanks so much.